Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Emma and you're in for some very entitled people today. I traveled for work for a decade and I had platinum status in my preferred airline and hotel and got to reap the benefits of that quite often. I was in the airline lounge bar at Ord so often waiting on the trusty flight back to my city that I had made friends with the Friday evening bartender. This is how much I was on the road. So one Friday evening we were all stuck. I don't remember at what airport, but probably Ord if I was coming from somewhere NW. It doesn't really matter. Our flight has been cancelled. This is going to cause chaos. People are going to miss connections or be stuck at the airport overnight and are rightfully going to be a bit upset, so the gate agents expect a certain amount of pouting. I'm in line behind this guy for a new boarding pass for whatever crazy layover I'm going to have now. My one rule was that I had to get home tonight. I didn't care if they had to route me back west first. I needed my 2 days at home to recharge before flying out again on Monday. Everyone is sulking when a perky gate agent announces that our flight is back on. They found another available aircraft and we were all going to get to go home tonight, just a few hours late. That was good enough for me, and I'd already been in this line for 15 minutes, so I figured I may as well stay in line and check my upgrade status. Entitled guy in front of me starts absolutely berating the poor gate agent about how his plans were ruined, etc. Yeah, you and everyone else's, right? Then he asks about an upgrade and she told him there were no first-class seats available. He then got even angrier and started yelling at her about now he's delayed and missed an upgrade. I can just hear the tiny violins. She looks like she's on the verge of crying though, and I'm not usually one to step in where it's none of my business, but finally I just stepped to the guy's side and said, "Hey man, try to keep it civil. It's not her fault that we are delayed and she's just trying to help. We're all in this tug." "Excuse me, sir, do you work for the airline?" "No, I don't, but I'm platinum and I fly every week and want to get home just as bad as." "Harumph, then this is none of your business." The gate agent is done with him now, so she simply tells him to have a nice flight and he stomps away like a toddler. Now it's my turn. I approach the counter as she smiles big and says very loudly, "Oh look, a seat just opened up in first class and you're first on the upgrade list. Wink, enjoy your flight." I know the guy heard. He pouted until boarding was called, and being upgraded, I got to board first and walk right by him. Then as I was getting situated in my seat, he had to walk by me as he made his slog to the back. I looked him right in the eye and smiled as he passed. I know the exact smile you had on your face. When will people learn that being nice will get you so much further than being a jerk? I remember being on a flight, and the person next to me was bitching at the flight attendant because all of the first-class seats were empty. The attendant was telling them they couldn't change seats, and they were getting aggressive enough to cause me to have a panic attack, but even in that state I was smiling at her. Guess who got a first-class seat? The guy had a scowl on his face for the rest of the flight. Once I was flying somewhere with my 2 teenage sons, and I had booked 3 seats together, in line at the gate desk, and in front of me were a couple with a baby who had been given seats in 3 different areas. The gate agents were stressing out trying to find them 3 seats together and not getting far. I stepped up and said, "Here, separate the 3 of us and they can take our seats." 2 of our new seats were in first class. Hey guys, let me know in the comments what you think of this story right now. Neither me nor the family involved in this story supports any kind of violence here. This happened about a month ago. I went to look for some Christmas gifts with my sister and her children, both 6 and 8 years old, respectively. She had actually planned to buy them a Nintendo Switch after saving up enough money. We walked into that specific game store where we would get the console, alongside Mario Maker 2. Everything has been going fine with the purchase, and we were just about to make it, until my sister left her purse in the car. She had to quickly leave while asking me to look after my nephews while also telling the clerk to wait until she came back. Sure enough, I stayed with the kids and waited. Then a mildly fat woman appeared out of the blue, and she tried to buy the same Nintendo Switch we had already claimed. I then stepped in and went like, "Excuse me, ma'am, that's my Nintendo Switch, we're gonna buy it right this second." At the same time, the clerk already sided with me on this one. Immediately after stepping in, this entitled woman wasn't having it. "Bullshit," she said. "This is how the rest of the convo went. You have more than one of these in your storage, right?" "Sorry, ma'am, this is the last one." And he claimed it first. Shut up. This entitled woman was looking at us in disgust, as if she smelled rotten food, then looked back at the clerk. "Why are you going the trouble of waiting for these wetbacks to pay with money they don't even have?" My nephews began to feel uncomfortable and sad as they were having their perfect Christmas gift taken away by some evil fuck. One of them actually firmly clung to it, never to let go. The entitled woman then pushed him back against a line of new games, which fell on him. This is when madness began. At the same time that woman pushed one of my nephews, my sister came back, absolutely irate. The woman got on her face and looked her dead in the eye. "You're not worth my time, you bunch of beaners." "Fuck you," she says, before spitting my sister in the face. My sister, a former Muay Thai practitioner, did what a mother could ever do to protect her children. She kicked the entitled fuck in the face, knocking her out flat. The cops showed up shortly after. I couldn't remember much of what else happened, as I went ahead and immediately helped my hurt nephew as soon as the batch of games fell on him. However, this morning, I talked with my sister about this situation now that she was already clear. She tells me that the entitled woman is now facing charges of behaving under the influence, destruction of private property, and assaulting a minor, while my sister was also facing any charges. These were dropped after reviewing CCTV and our statements. And yes, I returned the next day and bought the Nintendo Switch after they restocked, because that entitled woman broke the previous one anyhow when assaulting my nephew. We may consider therapy after Christmas and nigh, because my poor nephew is still distraught a month after the dispute. NTA, imagine going out of your way to not only ruin Christmas for some kids, but to also physically assault one of them in a game store. Outrageously insane. Get the lad some help. The last thing you want is to let what happened fester and grow in his subconscious, where it will take root and turn into who knows what sort of mental health struggle. When my younger son experienced some bullying at school that made him miss some work, the anxiety about catching up turned into a pure dread of going back to school, which in turn turned into agoraphobia so bad he never wanted to leave the house. Hey guys, if you're enjoying the video, don't forget to drop a like. A few years ago, on a different Reddit account, I mentioned that I was in an interracial relationship. A Redditor reached out to me and told me I was a race traitor and unfaithful to my race. I was like, WTF. Bro, I looked at his account, it was 6 years old, which told me his username was likely something he used a lot. So I started googling his username at Gmail, username at Yahoo, etc., and I found a match with Hotmail. A guy by the name of, let's say, Jeff was selling some NFL game tickets and had posted his email. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean it's the same person. However, in the post, he mentioned a city in America and that he was a fan of a particular football team. I went through the Reddit user post history. He posted quite a bit in the respective city subreddit. He mentioned going to NFL games. And in another post, he also said he was born in Canada. So through the ad for the NFL ticket, I figured out his real name. I found his biography on his employer's website. He was a senior level manager, so they had a bio for him. In that bio, they mentioned he was born in Canada, was a fan of said NFL team, and loved living in the city. I also found his LinkedIn page during this time. So I sent him a connect request on LinkedIn, which he accepted. I figured he would because he had 500 plus connections. So here's what we know. His username matches his email handle. He likes the NFL team. He lives in a said city that he posts in said city's subreddit. He was born in Canada. I then found his Facebook page. His Facebook page was public, and he posted what I would describe as semi-racist material. Also, his Reddit page was significantly more racist. Based on the numerous connecting factors I determined, so I created a report. I included screenshots and links and summarized my findings in that report. Now, based on this person's position in his company, he likely had a significant role in deciding who this company employs. Also, his company clearly stated they were an equal opportunity employer. So I called their HR department. I found the number and I called them and I asked them, would you be concerned if a senior level manager in your organization was a proud racist and degraded your equal opportunity employment policies? They were concerned, so I told them I had done an investigation into one of their senior level managers and described he was racist, and I had put together all my evidence and findings in a report and could email it over to them. I emailed them the report a few weeks later. I called to get an update and I was told they appreciated my report. However, they would have to comment on the status of their decision and make public statements in regard. Basically, thanks for letting us know, but we aren't going to tell you shit. That's fine. So I waited another month and I kept checking his LinkedIn page. Then one day, I saw a LinkedIn post from him in which he said he is looking for a new opportunity and if anyone had any positions open. So I messaged him on Reddit and I told him, hey bro, heard you got fired. Just want you to know I'm the reason why he threatened to find out who I was, hunt me down, rape my spouse, and strangle me to death. So I reported him to Reddit admins who promptly banned him. Now, he really should have learned his lesson. Because guess what? He didn't connect the dots. He didn't know I could see all his LinkedIn activity. He didn't know who I was, he simply acted in rage. So I put his newest message in his folder and added it to the report. Because you see, I can be an incredibly vindictive motherfucker. I checked his LinkedIn once a week. Good news, he got another job. Bad news. Their HR department was also quite easy to get a hold of and discuss their new hires' online racist, threatening behavior. However, let's just say I had a lovely conversation with this HR representative. She was a woman, and based on how she sounded and her name, I suspect she was a woman of color. I'm not sure what happened after this, because a few weeks later his internet history was cleaned up and his LinkedIn page was deleted. However, this company listed their senior management, which was what his position was. I never saw his name listed. What I suspect happened is after his HR reviewed my evidence, they terminated his employment with them. I would have totally gone after him a third time, but he got smart the second time around. Thanks for watching the video, and if you enjoyed, subscribe for more crazy stories.